Hello everybody, welcome to my first video on YouTube and also my first video in my new series called Complete Dangerous Getting Started. This will be the first video, and today we're actually just going to go over just some the basic navigation panels and basic flight mechanics and docking. And the next video we'll get to in-system travel, and then just travel between systems as well as few things. But in this video, it's just going to be a couple of get some basic information, nav panels, docking, and basic flight mechanics. So welcome everybody. I don't currently have a YouTube name. I will end up getting that figured out later. But for right now, let's just go ahead and get into it. A little bit about ED. ED is a space simulator game that's developed by Frontier Developments. It's been out for about 7 years. You're flying on a spaceship. You can explore systems, shoot enemy ships, etc., etc. There's more information on its Steam page, and then I do like the game quite a lot. I would also suggest if you are going to pick up a game, try picking up, make sure you pick up a Horizon DLC, as you can, along with the base game, they usually do come in a bundle, so it might save you a little bit of money, so you can land on planets, get engineers, get better gear, and to get better stats in your weapons and ships, etc., etc. And also a few new ships, a few ships, and a few cosmetics also left behind in Horizon as well. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's get started. So, first things first, in Elite Dangerous, you're going to have 4 types of panels. So, the first panel is actually just going to be, to access this panel, you just going to hit the keyboard button number 1. It's a pull-up nav panel, and you're going to use the Q key and the E key to move between the tabs, and then you will use the W and S key to move within the menus under the tabs. So the first section of this panel is the navigation panel. It gives you a list of all the items in a system, and so including stars, stations, access to other systems, things you haven't explored, which will be listed as unexplored, as you can see here. And then furthermore, it will also give you the distance from what you currently are to these systems. So distances in Elite Dangerous are measured in light seconds, megameters, and light years, and I will get more into that in the next video. But I also should let you know that to use the W and S keys to move up and down, and use the A and D keys to move to the left and right. A is to the left, A is to move to the left, D is to move to the right. So if you want to hit, you can hit the spacebar for enter, and this will also allow you to check filters for the maps. You can filter it by stars, planets and moon, stations, points of interest, systems, etc., etc. Then you have your galaxy map. This you just click W, the S, take the S key down, hit the spacebar, open up a galaxy map. This will show you all of the systems in the area and the systems in the entire galaxy as well. As you notice, I do this amount of bookmarks here because I have actually been playing for a while, about 700 hours in game. So there are a few things here that are going to be a bit different from what you guys have when you guys start. But I just like to note that there is a new player starting area. I'm in the IND system, which is as close as I can get to it. Since I am not new, I do not have access to that area. I'll talk a bit more about that later. Okay, so once you're going to go and exit, you can also go back to the quick one. Go to the system app, click the spacebar as well, give you information on everything that's in the system. And trust me, there will be more information on that later, but just for sake of today, I'm not going to go over that. So the next tab on this tab is just going to be pressing the E key, go to Transactions tab. This will give you all your fines, all your bounties, any missions you're currently running. Fines, bounties, missions, missions, and I think that's, and vouchers, bounty vouchers and combat vouchers as well. You will see these in this tab. This is your contacts tab. This is essentially how you target ships and stations. So right now you can see we're docked at the farthest dock. That's the name of the station we're in. So all you have to do is just go over contact, and you can just hit the spacebar. I believe it's bound to that by default on your keyboard. I could be wrong though. So you hit the spacebar, and it'll just give you different types of things to scan. So the next tab is going to be your social tab. This tab is, well, for social stuff. What we're going to do is you just press the 2 key, and it gives you your main tab, your chat tab, which is the system chat, and the local chat, and then your wing chat, and then your multi-crew chat if you're doing that as well. Wings are groups of up to 4 people, and the multi-crew is when you join another person's ship. And then you can also, this is your inbox tab, so you get rank up missions, your mission information, or enemy alerts. You'll see that here along with a bunch of other things. You can also filter settings out as well, and you're also just using the Q and E keys to navigate along all of these menus as well. This is your social tab. You got friends. It will show you any invites, any friend requests. If you have any friends in line, you'll see them at the very last part. And this is your history tab of who you've interacted with, or who you've not, or who you come across. This is your squadrons tab, which is just a elite dangerous version of a guild. So up to I think 10 players or more start a squadron. You can join that. So if you want a squadron, you'd see information for a squadron in that tab. And then this is just your general chat settings tab. I do apologize. It may seem like I'm going a little fast. It's just because this is the 6th time I've recorded this video in different formats, and they all happen to be a bit long. So I'm actually trying to just condense it down so it's not 20 minutes of me, or 20 or 30 minutes of me staring at of you listening to me talk without seeing the actual gameplay. But this is stuff that isn't a bit necessarily long. So your 3 key, this isn't too terribly important right now. It just gives you some general information about your ship and your crew. Just some the helm. That's me, Commander Oscar. Just use piloting the ship. That's always going to be you, unless you're in Multicrew. And fires against little ships that can be deployed by bigger ships. More info on that later. SRV. If you have the Horizon COC, you can use this to land on non-atmospheric planets. Crew. If you have fires, you're going to have a crew. Again, more on that later. And then the help tab is just essentially just some more general information, and use the Q and E keys to navigate this menu, and then just the W and S keys go up and down. Okay, and so finally, the 4th tab is actually just going to be your general information tab. So, you have, as you can see here, you have your there. So if you see here on the very left-hand side, you have your commander name, you have your ranking system. So in Elite Dangerous, you have 3 types of ranks. You have combat rank, which can be gained by shooting ships, shooting ships, turning bounties, etc. And then you have your trade rank, and then which can be gained by just selling stuff, and then your explorer rank, which can be gained by selling exploration data you gain from jumping around the area and selling the data from systems. Then you have your balance. Since I am not new, I have 132 million credit balance. It's actually not that much. Then you have your rebuy cost. This is essentially the amount of credits it would cost if you were to lose your ship. And then to the far right side, you have the name of your ship. So I'm in a Sidewinder, which is the ship you guys will all start in, unless something changed, but I'm pretty sure it's Sidewinder. Got your holomy, got your training. You'll be able to access your training scenarios from here, and the game will probably show you how to do that. Your codex, which is just information about the galaxy. If you want to look for more information about squadrons, you can see it there. Galnet News, if there's what's going on with galaxy engineers, helping with the gear, I'll get into that later. Galactic powers, again, I'll get into later about who controls the galaxy. And you can use the W and S to move, so S and then W, and then you want to use the A and D keys to move to each separate menu. So, and then the Q and E keys from top. So we're going to hit the E key, we're going to go to our modules section. This is all the modules you currently have on your ship. Most ships have thrusters, shield generator, cockpit, etc., life support, and some basic sort of weapons. So it gives you the, so if you see the very first name of the module class, the type of the module, so your 3 types, you have engines, systems, and weapons, the power that's currently being allocated to the module, the health of that module currently, and the power and the priority. And the priority is essentially for power management. So essentially, if you go over 100% power, with the priorities, it will determine which modules shut down first. You can determine which ones. You usually want the non-essential ones to shut down first, but then more than that later. And this is just our power usage down here. So I'm going to have 100% power output and 97% usage, which is fine. As long as you are close, as long as you're not over 100, you'll be fine. But if you do go over 100, there's going to be a bit of an issue, because then you have things shut down. That's where the power priorities come in. Got your fire groups, so when you go into space, there will be overlays on your screen that will show you what the weapons, and depending on how you have these bound, it will show you where they are on your screen. So I'll get more on that later. So you got your ship. This is your ship tab that can be used in the Q and E keys to move. So you got your functions, you got your lights, you have your night vision. Landing gear is going to be deployed. Your colors group is going to be retracted because we're docked right now. Your reboot/repair if you take heavy damage and you don't have an AFM on, which is a module that repairs your ship, stuff in your ship. Something I'll talk about later. Your weapon mode for the turret, silent running. This is essentially when you By default, all ships in Elite Dangerous have a heat meter, and by default, all that heat is being pushed out. But when you turn silent running on, what will happen is it won't happen since it's in a station, but if you're out in space and you turn silent running on, your ship will, the heat will, how do you say this properly? The heat, the vent shut off, and it gets really, really hot inside. And if you turn it off, then you can lose your ship. I believe it's automatically bound to a delete key, so I would highly suggest rebinding that when you get the chance. And then speaking for wings, and we're going to use the WS keys to move down. Your flight assistance modules, most ships have Super Cruise Assist for new players, and the auto dock and auto launch modules also for new players attached as well. So if you have the zone, you can check in this menu along with a few other things I'll get into later. And then your pilot preferences, just what you want to have on. So your brightness of the interface, the clock, orbit lines, reporting grounds against me. I would just keep it on and pre-flight checks off. These are your statistics. So you have your current jump range, which is how far you can jump currently, and your gliding jump range if you didn't have a cargo rack, how far you'd be able to jump, and then jump range measured in light years. And then you have your shield health, your armor health, and your range if you have damage. That's more for engineers. Again, I'll get into it later. I know it seems like I am going down fast. It's just a lot of this stuff right here is not necessarily too terribly relevant right now unless you hop into combat immediately. But since I don't think most new players hop into combat, this stuff is just like kill your missions, etc., then as a result, I'm going to leave that alone. You got your inventory. So right now you can just W and S keys to move up and down this menu. You can use the D key over here. You got filters. You can filter by whether it's damaged cargo, ship cargo that's damaging your ship, illegal cargo, mission cargo, power play cargo, or stolen cargo. You can filter it. This we don't have anything currently, so it just says inventory empty. Right below here, you can say there's no filters active, and then we have no cargo. So our cargo capacity is hold 4 items. If it was 4, it'd say 4 out of 4, and we also get a message on our HUD. Finally, that's your mining, help you store ores and rocks, etc. I'll get into that later. Materials, really for engineering, you can filter them out later. You can filter them out. I'll get more of that later. Data, again, when you scan ships, you get data later on for engineering. It's more relevant. I'll get into that later. Synthesis, if you have enough mats, really more related to engineering, you can synthesize stuff. Let's get into that later. Passenger cabins, essentially you can run passenger missions, and if you have passenger cabins here, it will show you the capacity of the cabin, how many people are in that cabin, and you can see whether it's full or not. Then you have your status tab finally, and this just gives you use the E key to get over here as well. So just go E. Press E key. Sorry. So you got your system factions, you got your so these show you all the factions in the systems. It will give you your system economy, security of the system, reputation, influence, and the current state of the system. So what you can do, the current state of the system is experiencing. This is more for BPS, but what you can do to get more in-depth menu, just use the D key, hit enter, and you can scroll down as well. Use the A key, go back up, and I'll give you that. And then next we're gonna go down to is the superpower factions. So in Elite Dangerous, you have 3 superpowers: the Federation, the Empire, and the Alliance. There are also power play leaders. That's what Samina Torbal is, but I'll get into that later. So superpowers, the Federation and Empire both have ships locked behind rank. So special ship like the Cutter and the Corvette at the top of the line for the Federation and Empire. What you can do is you can rank up do missions with Federally and Imperial aligned factions, get rank up missions, to take those rank up missions, and then eventually you can, and that gives you a new rank, and you keep doing that until you get to the desired rank that you need to buy the ships. It also comes, you can also get permanent assistance as well. I think a few other things, but I'm not entirely sure. And then finally, the Alliance, the process is still the same. Do missions for them to get, but they don't give you ships, they just give you a permit to their main home system, and that is used for engineering, but it's not terribly relevant right now. System log, where you've been, finances. So this is how much. This just shows you how many credits you have, which is the currency in Elite Dangerous. My current ship insurance is 95%, and that just means 95% of my costs covered. I pay the other 5% in terms of my rebuy. You guys' rebuy and ship insurance are probably the rebuy cost should be about 1,601 credits for you guys. You guys are going to be starting a new player area, and the ship insurance should be a little bit higher because you guys are a new player area, and then as a result, what I meant to say is that the ship insurance is going to be higher, so your rebuy cost is going to be a lot more than that 2,600 back credits. So what rebuy is for essentially, the number one rule with dangerous is don't fire out rebuy. If you buy a ship that you can't afford and you lose it and you can't afford the rebuy, what's going to happen is you lose your ship, lose all the modules that were on the ship, and you have to start over in basic side module. So it's always make sure to have at least 2 to 3 times the cost of your ship to make sure that when you lose it, you have a little bit of leeway, so you're able to get it back. Then this is just your permits tab, so when you're in with certain factories and certain systems, you get permits to certain systems, etc., etc. I'll get more of that later. Okay, so that's big of a general overview. So what we're actually going to do now is we're going to launch. We're going to go to this menu, scroll down to the menu right here, click button that says auto launch. Sorry, I do have the sound down very low because the last time I tried recording this video with the sound interfered, so I ended up fighting the sound. And I do apologize if you hear some background noise. That's my computer kicking up. I have a Dell, so it likes to overheat a lot, and the fans like to kick in right as I'm recording things incidentally. So I've had it happen. But generally, this is just the auto dock and the auto launch. So what I did was I just went to the menu, scrolled down where it's auto launch. I hit spacebar and it launched me out of the station. So we'll just wait. Let's wait to do it down here. Okay, nice music. So a couple things to note while we're waiting for this launch to stop is that little ring right here with the icon on the ship, that's your shield ring. So that shows how many shields you have. If you don't have any shields, that ring will be red, and then that ring will not be there, and then as it's charging, it will be red when it's recharging. When you don't have any shields, you take cold damage, which is what this number down here is for. So that 100%. So if I was to take cold damage right now and my shields went off, and I would say I took 50% cold damage, that would say 50%. If I was to when this gets to 0, your ship explodes and you have to buy back, hence the rebuy. And then over to the far left are your pips. So what they are is just how much power points are allocated to certain systems. So systems is a system. So shields, etc. Engines, thrusters, etc. Weapons, pulse lasers, etc., etc. What you can do is you can use the arrow keys. So allocate pulses. So check that. And you can get up to your maximum speed. Hit the resistance key will give your shields more resistance. Hit your weapons, it means your weapon capacity will last longer. It means you won't have to fire as much. Okay, and then to the very far left gives you your fuel meter, which is how much fuel you consume per hour. When you're docked, it will always be 0.00 fuel consumed per hour because you're docked and you're not using your fuel. But when you're in space, it will tell you how much fuel you have, and this little bar right here will also show you. This little bar right here will also show you how much fuel you have left. And when you jump to another system, there will be a blue icon here, and that will indicate how much fuel is being consumed in the process. And then you have your mass launch. So currently what that means is essentially we're stuck in an object we're right by an object that's so big that we can't jump to cruise or jump to another object. The best way to do that is to get out of the range of the object. And when you have a landing gear, not just what you deploy when you land, cargo scoop to scoop up cargo. And then, so the first things first, we should get out of being this mass lock. So now, since we're now out of the range, out of the station, what we're going to do to move forward, you press the W key. So W pushes you forward. W pushes you forward. So we're going to go forward, and now we're about once you get about 5 kilometers out from the station, you're going to be you won't be mass locked anymore. So I generally find it best to hit the boost key to help you get out of the station faster. You can also put more pips to engine. That way you will be able to get out of the range of the station. So the W key pushes you forward, the S key pushes you backwards. If you want to go left, you use the A key. If you want to go right, you use the D key. If you like to go up or down, R, you press the R key to go up. I know it's always reload in most games, but in this game reloads are done automatically. So press R to go up, R is up, and then F is down. R is up, F is down. R is up, and F is down. And if you want to turn it around, if you want to use all these controls at once, you just tilt this little arrow right here. That moves you in the direction you like to go. So in this case, I want to turn right back around to the station. I do have it targeted. What I'm actually going to do, we can just drag it up. So instead of going, I'm just going to press R. Now we're going right back where we need to go. So currently, with docking, and let's explain the thing to the very left hand side. So right now we are targeting the station, and whenever you target something, in this case it's station, it will usually give you the name of the ship of the station, name of the ship of the station, and what faction the station belongs to. If it's for a station, we would target a ship, which actually there aren't any in here. But generally, if we would target the ship, it gives us the name of the ship, name of the ship's pilot, their rank, their combat ranking, and then if they're in a wing, and if they're part of a superpower, and then what if they're part of the faction, also lists that there as well. So get more of that familiar. And then here you have your radar. This will show you all the area. The little white squares are the FSD weights. So when you jump out, you will be able to weight trail back behind, and somebody can't scan that. That's also included upon engineering materials, but I will talk more about that later. The yellow icon is a ship. The green icon is a station. It's going to be orange most of the time, but I have some rep of the station, so it's going to be. So when you build rep, it'll turn green, but by default, it's probably going to be orange for you guys. So the rule, and finally to the left, right after the little station icon here, is going to be your heat meter. Currently, we're sitting at 39% heat. Once you hit 100% heat, so I was to do the starting line I was talking about. So starting line, what you're going to do is going to go to, sorry, I haven't done this in a while. You're going to go to press 4, go to the, give me a sec, sorry. There we go. So press 4, go to the ship tab, just go right up to the very top. What we're going to do is we're going to go hit solid running. There's also self-destruct option. You don't want to do that. We're going to hit scroll on the solid running. We're going to hit it. What happens is you see the solid run time icon here. Your shields will go down and your heat level is going to go up. Eventually, once you get to 100% heat, you will go up. So before that, I'm actually just going to go turn it off. And as you can see, the shield green right here is red because there's no shields. Give it a few seconds, and a few seconds it will be green. So what we're actually going to do is, since I do like to conclude this video and not make it too long, we're actually going to dock. So to dock, what we're going to do is generally, so if you want to dock at a station, what we're going to do is we're going to press 1, open up the navigation tab, then press the E key all the way over to the contacts tab, and we're going to see where it says focus dock. We're going to hit the spacebar. It may be, the binding may be different on your guys' systems, but I have it. It's bound to spacebar on mine. I'm not sure if it is on your guys'. With that being said, we hit the spacebar, and we're going to click. It'll give you some information about the station. We're going to click, and we're going to use the D key. Going to request docking. As you can see, there's an issue here. And the issue is in our shield type recharge. So once your shield type recharge, they will take power out of your systems. So it's best to reallocate pips accordingly, especially your comp. But I'll get more into that later. So on that red green shows the shields aren't fully recharged, but taking some damage still. So once they get recharged, it'll be blue all around. So what we're actually going to do is with an elite danger, you actually need to be within 7.50 kilometers of a station to dock in. If you're outside of that range, you will not be able to dock. And it should be noted in a station you have roughly 10 minutes to dock in a station and 5 minutes to leave. If you're in that station after 10 minutes, or you forget to dock, you get, So if you're in that station and you're not docking after 10 minutes, the station will blow you up. If you're trying to leave and you're in the station after 5 minutes, the station will also blow you up. So now once you get within the 7.5 kilometer range, you get this message in your system that you're in a no fire zone. What that means is essentially if you will fire your weapons right now by pressing the U key to deploy weapons, and I believe it's the mouse 1 key to fire them. And if you fire at the station will blow up. If you fire in the general area and you don't hit anything, you get fined. And you have to turn. And I will actually show that off later. So right now, since we're a bit closer, we're going to go back to the navigation panel tab. We're going to hit request docking. And it's going to tell us to proceed to the landing pad 6. Proceed to 6. What we're actually going to do, since I do have, by default, as you guys do, I have the auto dock, auto lock, and super cruise assist modules. Your auto dock module can let you leave a station, and also can dock you in a station. I will warn you though, with the auto dock, it does have a tendency of crashing people into walls and planets, so be a bit careful. It's good to have this new player tool, but generally once you get the base of it, I would highly suggest learning how to do some manual docking, and I will be showing that maybe next video, but if not next video, sorry, excuse me, that's my computer again. If not next video, definitely a few videos down the line. So as you can see, once we're back inside the station or within a range, we are now mass locked again, and our landing gear is deployed. To land, you always need your landing gear deployed. So now we're back inside the station, and to deploy your landing gear, you have to press the L key. And yeah, to deploy your landing gear, you have to press the L key. And now we're back inside the station. So actually I'm actually going to call that a day. I do hope you guys enjoyed. This will be my sorry, I can't talk today. It's my first YouTube video. So when I get this figured out how to properly upload this and edit this, and then this should be my first YouTube video and the first in a series on getting started for Beat Dangerous. I just like this bit of disclaimer now. I let you guys know that I may not be entirely. I know the basic mechanics of the game. So a few things may have changed from your experiences. So if you do, just please put that in the comments. And if you do want to see more, please feel to like and subscribe. Also, every week, I probably try to get 1 or 2 of these out of the week. We also like to do about a 5-minute question and answer segment. So if you guys do have any comments, if you do have comments and questions, please make sure to comment in the comment section. And what I'm going to say is thank you for watching and have a good day. Thank you.